read the lengthy article in the New York Times today about how Hillary is really stepping in the shit. I mean, she already has. And I got the sense from the New York Times, even though they have tacitly endorsed her, that the Times is starting to realize that this is not some Republican or right-wing or Christian asshole-generated scandal. It really is a violation of the law, what she did. So the New York Times had this lengthy article today, and I was reading it, and it just got, it's like trying to run through sand in the desert. I mean, after a while, I'm just reading this and going, Jesus Christ, this, whew. So I switched over to Common Dreams, and Nadia Prupus, their staff writer for Common Dreams, managed to condense everything that's happening in about 1/5 of the verbiage that was splattered all over the New York Times. And here's the way it starts. Hillary Clinton and her top aides failed to comply with U.S. State Department policies on records by using her personal email server and account, possibly jeopardizing official secrets, an internal watchdog concluded in a long-awaited report today. Now, this is from the State Department. This is not the FBI thing. This is an internal State Department investigation. Clinton also never sought permission from the State Department's legal staff to use the server, which was located at her New York residence, a request which, if filed, and the Times said the same thing, would not have been approved. That's in the report by the State Department's Office of the Inspector General. The report says this, quote, at a minimum, Secretary Clinton should have surrendered all emails dealing with department business before leaving government service. And because she did not do so, she did not comply with the department's policies that were implemented in accordance with the Federal Records Act, end quote. This could spell big trouble for Mrs. Clinton. Now, public trust in her continues to erode while Sanders has become the more formidable candidate to run against this fucking moron Trump. I'm sorry, I use the F word, but I can't. When I see Trump, I just start thinking, there's a cascade of F words that just start falling all around me. I can't, I need an umbrella. I need an F word umbrella because, Over at Politico, a couple of writers there said the following, quote, the watchdog's findings could exact further damage to Clinton's campaign, and they provide fresh fodder for Trump, who has already said he will go after Clinton for the email scandal. He'll go after her, his word, bigly. Bigly. That's when you do something big. You do it bigly. Jesus Christ. Now, the report from the State Department's Office of Internal Investigations or whatever, that represents the latest pushback. And this case is by a nonpartisan government entity, a pushback against her campaign's claim that she did not break any rules and that her use of a private server was completely allowed. Well, some fairly well-connected government entities are calling bullshit on that one, Mrs. Clinton. Really. In fact, technology staff in the Information Resource Management Office who brought up concerns about Clinton's use of her private server were reportedly instructed not to question the arrangement. Quote, this is from the report. In one meeting, one staff member raised concerns that information sent and received on Secretary Clinton's account could contain federal records that needed to be preserved in order to satisfy federal record-keeping requirements. According to the staff member, the director of the Information Resource Management stated that the Secretary's personal system had been reviewed and approved by department legal staff, and the matter was not to be discussed any further. As previously noted, the Office of the Inspector General found no evidence that staff in the Office of the Legal Advisor reviewed or approved Secretary Clinton's personal system, end quote. So somebody was in there flinging great big shovelfuls of bullshit all around the room. Other staff members from different offices were also instructed, quote, never to speak of the Secretary's personal email system again, end quote. Or what? What would Secretary Clinton do? Beat the shit out of him, probably, or I don't know. Never speak of it again! Wow. Now, today, Clinton's campaign, somebody in the campaign was very quick to point out that the report's criticisms also extended to the State Department in general. Right. It's like, what? Yeah, I broke the window, but so did Bobby, and so did Jimmy. They broke a window too one time. Clinton's campaign was quick to point out that the report's criticisms also extended to the State Department in general, which the Office of the what's OIG? Inspector General. The Office of the Inspector General found to be riddled with, quote, long-standing systemic weaknesses related to electronic records and communications, end quote. The findings were issued a day after a group of U.S. intelligence veterans, including William Binney, John Kiriakou, and Diane Rourke, published an open letter to President Obama urging him to expedite the forthcoming FBI report on Clinton's alleged email security violations. That letter says this, quote, the question is not whether Secretary Clinton broke the law. She did. If the laws are to be equally applied, she should face the same kind of consequences as others who have been found, often on the basis of much less convincing evidence, guilty of similar behavior, end quote. Well, I don't know about you, Truth Seeker, but goddamn, if you listen real close, I hear a noose tightening. Don't you? I mean, and it's not around Sanders' neck. No, this shit's serious. Screw the people. The Republicans. That little funky-looking guy. What's his name? I don't know, Buford Asswipe or whatever, the one that runs the Benghazi committee. What a jerkwad that guy. He's former, Attorney General of where? Arkansas, Alabama, Georgia, some goddamn place like that. That doesn't matter. He's just a geek and a freak and a jerk. Probably one of those guys that said, you sure got a purty mouth. But this other stuff. Now, you've got three former national security experts who are going on the record of saying in an open letter to the President of the United States, your Secretary of State violated the law. She is guilty. Now, this happened today. So I wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. I think I know what should happen. No, I don't think I know. I, honest to God, know what should happen. Here's what should happen. For the first time in either one of their lives, the Clintons, she should call a press conference and take responsibility and admit culpability for every goddamn charge leveled against her by or every part of the investigation, every aspect of the investigation as to what they are investigating. She should call the press conference, take the responsibility, say, yeah, I'm Hillary Clinton. I'm married to Bill Clinton. We're used to saying fuck you to all the rules. We make them up as we go along, just like the Bush family told you. We make up reality as we go along. By the time you figure it out, we've moved on. And Hillary ought to say, that's what all of us do up at this level. That's what all of us do. Not just Bush, not just these Republican bastards, but Bill and I, too. There's only one person up here who doesn't do that shit, and that's Bernie. So here's what I am asking my supporters to do. I'm getting out because, that $22 million I raised from speaking fees, I'm going to need that to defend myself because these sons of bitches are coming after me with ropes and pitchforks and burning torches. Support Bernie Sanders. I'm asking all of you. And Debbie Wasserman Schultz, screw you. I never liked you to begin with. Thank you very much. No questions. And then she walks away from the podium. That's the end of it. So let me ask you, Truth Seeker. What are the odds of that happening? Or a variation of it. She's not going to use the F word. She's not going to be a foul-mouthed jerk like I am out in public. She uses that kind of language in private. So she won't use that kind of crappy-ass language, but wouldn't it be something that would almost make me want to vote for her 4 years from now? No, I take that back. But this is the part that is so what's the word I want? This is the part that gets under my skin. Like somebody said, cancer will kill you, but crabs will drive you crazy. Crotch crabs, little body lice. Cancer will kill you. Crabs will drive you crazy. The Clintons, to me, are like crabs. I don't think I have ever, even back in the late 90s when I was coming to his defense because of this freak, crazy, keyhole peeper, voyeur, Ken Starr. But regardless of that, the Clintons have never, ever played by the rules. Never. And they bend them just enough so they can squeeze through. They don't break them, they bend them. And they squeeze through and move on to some other nefarious bullshit. This is what the Clintons do. It's what they do. And it's so irritating to see this go on and on and on. And then when Hillary Clinton, who in 2008 had her ass handed to her by Barack Obama, that should have been, don't you think? I mean, she's not Nixon. Nixon had his ass handed to him so many, well, you're not going to have Dick Nixon to kick around anymore. Oh, yes, we are. We just have to wait about 10 years. We're going to kick your ass so hard, it's going to wind up around your shoulders there, Tricky Dick. Nobody knew that at the time. But she's not Nixon. She therefore, when she was defeated in 2008, at age 61, she should have said, you know what, I'm going to go after the money. Wait a minute, she did do that. That's exactly what she did. And Obama, why in the hell would Obama, now I know the answer, appoint Hillary Clinton to be Secretary of State? I mean, that just seems so irrational. But he did. And part of the reason was to get the Clintons off his ass. You know, please, please, you white people, please get away. Please. Ugh. All right. You can be Secretary of State. Just stop. Stop what you're doing. You're driving me crazy. I can just hear Obama say that back in the day. But that's the thing here. So Clinton now has this scathing report, and the commentaries independent of that report that have gone on to the president that have stated categorically that she broke the law. Categorically, she broke the law. Not she may have, possibly, could be, matter of interpretation, matter of opinion. Nuh-uh. She broke the law. Now, what happens when you break the law? Well, for some people, nothing, honey. Nothing. And I just wonder, I mean, how many of the Wall Street predators went to prison for what they did to the American public that ended in the collapse in 2008? I mean, their scams ended and the whole goddamn thing blew up. How many of those rat bastards went to prison, and how many of them wound up in the Obama administration? See what I'm saying? So, of course, there's David Petraeus. Now, he did something entirely different, but I'm saying in the same general area, he broke the law, and look what happened to him. Petraeus is lucky he didn't wind up in prison someplace. But Clinton, it's pretty astounding, isn't it? Have you ever seen a political campaign like this? Started out with, was it 17 of the dumbasses with Trump and all those useless clots of ectoplasm and bone and blood, all those ridiculous shits standing up there for the first debate. Remember that? And then the second and the third and the sixth. Remember that? And that whole collection of clowns, it was the most ridiculous thing ever in the history of this country, politically speaking. There they were. And who's the last man standing? The asshole, Trump. So you have the asshole now who is going to be the Republican nominee, and then you have Mrs. Clinton, who told CNN, told what's his name, Cuomo, I am going to be the nominee. I am. And yet, it is now becoming clear that she broke the law. This was not little inadvertent bullshit, or not because I'm so busy. Oh, yeah, I'll get to it later. No. This was deliberate, conscientious, absolute.